for two wild guys throwing out spicy ideals on fantasy football. Welcome back to the Dynasty Football Maniacs. Trust at your own risk.
All right, today we're going to be talking about the wide receivers position, covering our top rankings. The last time we covered this topic was February, right after the football season. And today we're going to kind of hash that and add the rookies into the rankings so we can see where the rookies stand too. So right now, looking at it, doesn't look like our list changed much from the last time we did this ranking and tearing them out. Um, me and Austin both agree that Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb is still in our tier one as our top. I think before I stated that I think Amon St. Brown should be up there, but I'm also concerned about CeeDee Lamb. I think we're gonna. I don't. I'm kind of curious how that whole thing's going to play out, but he should do well this year. I
Um,
mean,
I only have an opinionated idea. I don't really have a 100% positive idea, but I have a general idea of how they might use him and George Pickens.
yeah,
Because CD. If you look at it a couple of years ago, especially when you had Amari Cooper and he first came out, they like using him. They like moving him around everywhere, really. And George Pickens, he's like the burner. Whenever he was the number one basically at the Steelers last year, that's basically what they use him as his burner because he's a big play guy. But, I'm just guessing. I'm not like saying that's 100% what's going to happen. But if they leave CD in the slot, then that's just gonna be still good for CD. I'm not too worried about CD.
so you're not too concerned about how well CD will
No,
do this year.
not really. The only reason why I'd be like super concerned if Dak gets hurt again.
So you're concerned more if Dak gets hurt.
I am.
So last year, Pickens only scored 164 points as a wide receiver, played in 14 games. So he had some issues last year. He's definitely going to be good at a wide receiver two. I think he'll play better as a wide receiver two than a wide receiver one. I think it will improve the game of CeeDee Lamb. I think just having him on the other side probably will just kind of hold support things. It kind of reminds me back when they had a Mario Cooper there. It kind of increased more of the odds of CeeDee Lamb being open.
hmm
I think it'll help a
That's
lot.
that, that's what I'm thinking too. Because now you got somebody who's actually you have another threat on the other side now. So now it's not like, hey, let's double CD. It's like, well, we're gonna have to either pick one to double or we're gonna have to just single coverage everyone. And that usually leaves, and CB is really good about picking off single coverage guys. I mean, he's done double coverage too, but this is just gonna help him out a lot.
Yeah, so I want to point out to everybody we've talked a lot about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson over the last couple of years. And I want to just point this out again. And I know it's like I'm rehashing it and re-talking about it and constantly dwelling on it, but I think we both come to consensus that once Jamar Chase finished a complete season without getting an injury, he would surpass Justin Jefferson, which he did. And Justin Jefferson played every game, and he wasn't that far off. But actually, in a way, he was. I mean, you look at his points 317.5 for Justin Jefferson total for the season, right? And then you turn around and look at 403 for Jamar Chase. It's almost a 100-point difference. I mean, Jamar Chase is like they're both good wide receivers, hands down. I don't think it'll be a while before we drop them two out of the tier one, and it'd have to be a significant injury or something. I don't even think even on a significant injury, me and Austin would even consider taking them out of tier. I don't think any professional would take them out of a tier one yet because these two guys are some of the best wide receivers out there.
Now, the only way I would take him out of the tier one is in 6, 7 years when they start getting older. but
Yeah.
but other than that, I don't see me taking them out in a foreseeable future, at least.
And I know, and some people maybe question the fact if they're just looking at this year's statistics, why did we put CeeDee Lamb in that spot? For the fact that CeeDee Lamb did end at the number one wide receiver last year. I mean, the year before. And
We've seen what his ceiling is, so
that's right. We've seen what his ceiling is, and he didn't drop too far from his ceiling. I mean, he still finished in what, the top 8? Or hold
and
on, I got it right here. Hold on, let me look at my list.
he was an eighth.
Yeah,
And the crazy thing is, he was playing with a hurt shoulder for most of the year, which is
right.
which that's strong man, because if I would have hurt my shoulder and somebody would have tapped it, I probably would have curled up in a ball and started crying about it. And he's just sleeping up there and falling on it like it's nothing.
Right. So we can't really take him out of tier one because I honestly do believe his game will pick up with Pickens coming aboard. They finally got that wide receiver 2 in the room. They need it. I think between Amaria, Cooper's gap, and up to this point, I think this is what Dallas needed for that wide receiver core. Dak is a good quarterback. As long as he stays healthy, he could play ball. I think we have no disagreement in tier one. So I'm excited to see what all 3 of them guys do this year. If you have them on your team, that's great in Dynasty. I don't think you should trade them right away, right now. I know someone's laughing in the background saying, "Didn't you trade Jamar Chase away a while back?" And I said, "No one's perfect." So, but
Wait,
doesn't mean I have a losing team. I did it for draft picks and another good player. So I
you
won.
what
To me, I feel
was
like I won.
wasn't you rebuilding?
Yes, I was rebuilding, and that was the
Okay.
only piece I had to
And
kind of like
and
fix it
and
up.
and here's something. I know, they call these guys untouchable and stuff, but you can always, if you look at your team, you can have one untouchable and be mildly mediocre, but if you trade that one, untouchable player and get a haul, you could actually sometimes turn out in the long like better, because everyone is going to be clamoring for that elite guy, and then they could really overpay for the elite guy. So a lot of times you need to keep your elites, but at the same time, if you look at your team and you see that you're a couple pieces here, and if you think you can get somebody who might be a tier lower than the elite and then some, sometimes you actually come out better in the long haul.
Yeah, I totally agree. So going into the tier 2 side of it, and I honestly believe some of these quarterbacks we're going to be talking about next, we'll probably be moving them. Like I believe St. Brown, his next step is to be a tier 1. I think if he finishes in the top 6 like he has been, we shouldn't deny him that fact that he is an elite wide receiver. Brian Thomas Jr. had a great rookie season. Malik Neighbors had a great rookie season. Nico Collins was starting off really good. Him and Stephon Diggs was actually in the top 20 both. They played on the same team, but injuries just kind of like plagued both of them. And then Puka Nuka had his little comeback and did really well last season. And with them getting, did they end up signing Cooper back, or did they finally get rid of him completely? I can't remember. Cooper Cup.
No, he's with the Seahawks.
Yeah, so he left. So now it's just Puka
Mhm.
Nuka. I mean, he's going to be the
Oh,
dominant force.
it's Puka Nuka, but they also got Devontae Adams. They signed
Yeah,
Devontae Adams, so that's a different topic of a different opinion.
that
But
is true.
it just
That is
depends.
true.
I mean, Puka Nuka is still going to be the dominant one,
Really depends on
but
who Stanford enjoys more.
that is true. That's the reason why he's at tier two, even because you got Devontae there now, and we don't know how they're going to interact with each other. We don't know if he's he's still going to get targets. Puka is still going to get targets, but it just depends on who he throws to because, as we've seen in the past, Devontae Adams is a very demanding receiver. That is the reason why he is like on his third third team in the past 2 years. So he's going to want a lot of targets too. So it's interesting to see how this target share is going to be distributed.
Yeah, he did finish. You got to think about last year. He only played 11 games and he finished 26. That's pretty impressive for only doing 11 games. I mean, there's guys above him that did a full 17. Uh, so at the end of the day, that's impressive. I wanted to take
Yeah,
note to let everybody know Brian Thomas Jr. was the highest scoring rookie last year. He did outscore Malik Neighbors, and it wasn't. Let's see, it was 284. Yeah, it's within about
it's
10 different points.
so
10 points.
I want to make one more point about Devontae because I was looking at it and when he went, he played a little bit for the Raiders, but then he went to the Jets and he basically took all of. I'm not going to say this is going to happen to Puka Nuka, but he basically took all of Garrett Wilson's targets, like because obviously Aaron Rodgers and stuff, which is totally different. But the only that's really the only thing I'm concerned with is how much are they going to give it to Devontae
So
and and also Devontae is another year older. There's just so many variables, but I think Puka Nakua is still going to dominate in that offense.
yeah. So you have a good point there. Yes, you could tell that Devontae picked up a little bit more targets, even though Garrett Wilson finished before him. But Garrett played all 17 games. Devontae only played 14. And they actually finished respectfully 10 and 11. So that's pretty impressive in itself that the New York Jets had two wide receivers that finished in the top pretty much 10. Because, I mean, the point difference is only 10 points, literally. You got 251.9 to 241.3. And Garrett Wilson was averaging 14.9 points a game, where uh, Devontae was averaging 17.2. And if you look at the top rankings, like when you get, well, we're in the top rankings, top 10 is top rankings, but like when you get up into the top 4 or 5, they're averaging about 18 points a game, except for Brian Thomas Jr. and Drake London, which this is best season for Drake London. I think this is with that whole thing this year, land. I think all the Drake London guys that's had Drake London's finally had their year because he finished fifth as wide receiver. He played all 17 games and he actually put up some fantasy points. So he was averaging about 16.5. And maybe not where everybody wants him, but I think that's pretty good. I mean, that's a good start, right?
I would have been very happy with Drake London.
Oh, I would have been too, because I know I got rid of him because he was annoying me. Uh,
But now you're kind of like, dang it.
yeah. But the funny thing is when I got rid of him, I picked up like I remember I'd have to look up the actual rookie, the actual trade. It was like I got like I know I got a second rounder, and then I had got Terry McLaurin from Washington,
hmm
and then I believe I got Devontae Wicks from Green Bay, and I thought that was a pretty good trade at the time because Terry he finished 7 overall last year with
Okay, so this was the one with Jaden Daniels was there. Okay.
yeah, Jaden
All
Daniels
right.
was the
Well,
quarterback.
okay, well, that makes more sense then.
So I mean, I'm excited to see what happens the second year of Jaden Daniels. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a Washington fan. I am an Eagles fan, but man, what excitement with that rookie. So, I mean, I'm a little pumped up. Uh,
Hmm.
so, tier 2, we got, let's see, who do we got? We got St. Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, and Puka Nacua. So, none of that changed from when we rated this back in February. I mean, these guys have maintained their spots. If not, some of them make it like a little bit more exciting, especially with the trade with Pittsburgh to Dallas. CeeDee Lamb looks a little bit more valuable because at the time we didn't know that. And then just the fact that Drake London now be coming out with Penix or Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I really don't know that situation, but
Oh,
I
it's
believe they said they're
Penix.
going to start off with Penix.
It's Penix.
So either way, I'm excited to see what he will do under Penix because to see him get in the top was exciting this year. And even though we don't have him in a tier 2 yet, we're going to be talking about him in a minute.
He did. From what I'm looking at, whenever Penix actually stepped in, he did pretty good with Penix. Them few
Yes,
games.
he did. So me and Austin both agree on tier 1 and 2. So right now we got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, St. Brown, Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Nico Collins and Puka Nuka. I want to also point out Brian Thomas Jr.'s really got him a good wide receiver too now. So people don't understand when you put that mix in there and you give them a good right and a left, usually that number 1 or that number 2, and sometimes both of them just start exploding because what happens is the defenses on the other team has a hard time trying to figure out who to cover because they're just both extraordinary. And that's a lot of the things with the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of people don't like, we sit here and talk about Jamar Chase. Let's not forget about T. Higgins. Okay. That helps.
Mm-hmm.
T. Higgins makes an impact to that game and he matters to that whole play.
Mm-hmm.
So always keep that in mind. And you kind of seen that with Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams last year. It was them two right side by side made a whole different Jets wide receiver. Even though the Jets didn't do good, the wide receiver core wasn't too bad. I mean, it's just some reason that team just couldn't jive. I mean, it happens. I mean, you could have star players and things just collapse. We seen the Eagles one year just literally collapse in the locker room because it had a disagreement. I mean, it can happen to a team no matter how good you are.
Correct.
So let's look at tier 3. We got Jackson Smith, Najigba, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Laud McConkey, Drake London, T. Higgins, Marvin Harris Jr., which I think he'll have a better year this year, and A.J. Brown. So I don't disagree with any of these guys being in the tier 3. These were in my tier 3. They were in Austin's tier 3. And as I just mentioned, T. Higgins versus you kind of see the matchup here. You got so many top level wide receivers. Like on AJ Brown's side, you got the other guy we're going to be talking about in a little bit, Devontae Smith. I mean, it's a yin and a yang. I mean, you got to have that duel to get a success. I mean, there's some wide receivers that just stand out, but I mean, it really does help when you have the field spread out where people have to jump around. So, I mean, there's really not much to talk about the next tier. I mean, we kind of covered it in the beginning. It's a little excited about second year with Ladd McConkey. They added a wide receiver with him, so should see a little bit better action. Plus, they brought Omer Hampton and Najee Harris, which are both great receiving backs. So something just tells me that whole team will look a lot better. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I'm not a Chargers fan, but I'm pretty excited about watching them this year. I think Justin Herbert can distribute the ball. I ain't too worried about that, so that's the reason why I have him at Lad at tier 3. Because even with them drafting all them players, it's just gonna make all of them better.
I totally agree. So we're going to add our first rookie to the rankings, guys. And I really don't. Okay, so actually, I had a rookie, but you have them too. Okay, I was about to say I just wouldn't feel right not having them both in that ranking. And
I have them both.
Okay, I'm a little bit better now. I'm like I was a little bit on the fence, but since they have named Hunter wide receiver primarily, I do agree that I would rank him higher than Ibuka. And I'd also rank Ibuka a little lower because of who he still has on the team. I mean, he is still like playing with Mike Evans. And even though Mike Evans is, yes, aging, injuries and stuff, he's still one of the top wide receivers. So I couldn't really put him in a tier 4 anyways, but I could deal with Travis Hunter being there now because we know what he is listed as on the depth chart. And McMillan definitely needed to be in a tier 3. So we added them 2 rookies to the tier 3, and they joined the club with some of the other guys we had listed. It looks like I'm trying to sit here and kind of cipher. I'm looking at Austin's list versus my list. Okay, so Rashee Rice, we both agree. Travis Hunter, McMillan, we both agree. Devontae Smith, we both have Devontae Smith. Okay, so we're on the same page right now. Zay Flowers, we both have Zay Flowers. Rome Tuesday, yes, we both have Rome Tuesday. I'm starting to believe, looking at previous play last year and this year, I have this feeling that Roma Tuesday is going to take more away from DJ Moore. I just have this feeling. Not saying it's going to happen. I know they don't have Allen there no more, but
I think
I
it'll
think
happen.
you think it'll happen too.
I think I think he's going to take over this wide receiving room.
But see, I also have DJ Moore in tier 4. I can't drop him below Roma Tuesday. I just couldn't do that.
Well, I got them pretty close too. I got DJ Moore starting off at tier 5. It's not too far from each other. It's
Yeah.
not. I didn't like majorly drop DJ Moore. I only put him down a couple of spots.
All right. Well, let's look through this real quick. All right. So I have Jordan Addison. You have Jordan Addison. We both have Terry McLaurin. And we both had DK Metcalf. I guess we had more previously because I have more listed here. So I had DJ Moore in mine. I had Chris Olave, George Pickens, and Jaden Waddle.
Oh, in tier 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't even have Jaden Waddle on your thing, do you?
I got him at. I should have him somewhere.
No, he's not on there. I'm looking. Please tell me, God, you didn't forget about him.
It's pretty easy to forget about him.
Wow. Stop it, man. Stop it. All right. So here's our discussion.
You
I
know
think after
what?
George Pickens has been traded off, I could take him out of tier 4. I agree with that. I'll take him out. I'll replace him with, I'll put him, I'm going to add him to your tier. You had him, and that's because he went to wide receiver too. So I kind of get that whole movement, and I guess I could have done that too, but I didn't. Oh, you have him down low. No, you don't. Where do you have George? Okay, you have him tier 5. Okay.
I have him tier 5.
Yeah, that's good enough. So I'm going to drop him to tier 5. I'm fine with him going to tier 5. And cut that name, drop him to tier 5. I don't want to delete somebody because these guys are important. Oh, that's the wrong player. Took the rookie out of there. Well, drop him down, put him in tier 5. I'll go ahead and take DJ Moore, put him in tier 5, because I honestly believe there will be a swap this year. So I'm kind of agreeing with that. But I believe we need to leave Chris Olave in 4. I believe this will be his better season. Get that color scheme.
Okay, so you can put Jalen Waddle anywhere because
We're just going to leave him in tier 4.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe he'll actually stay healthy this year.
Man, you're so harsh.
I'm sorry, but I mean, man,
He's an Alabama guy. Give him love. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't give a damn if he is or isn't. I mean, if you're not on the field, you're not on the field. You know what the best trait a football player can have? Reliability. When
Wow.
you're on the sideline, always hurt. That's not reliability. That's a liability. And
Nerd.
some players, they just their bodies just can't handle it. That is the reason why I am not playing in the NFL because I know I can't handle it. He
All
can
right.
handle it a hell of a lot better than I can.
Okay, so I straightened out our tier 4, kind of lined it together since we had a little differences in it. I conceded to some, but I left one in there being stubborn, but I think you'll be fine with it.
Oh yeah.
So we did keep Rashee Rice because we both agree on it. Zay Flowers, Devontae Smith, Roma Tuesday, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Addison, DK Metcalf. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And McKillen, Travis Chunner. And the only ones I added to your list was Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave. Good God. Every time I try to say his name, I have a hard time. It's like, I just got to remember olives.
So that means you must have faith in their quarterback then.
I
If
have
you're
faith
putting
that
him
he's
in
a good
for
enough wide receiver. It doesn't matter what quarterback they put under that center there. He's going to figure it out
well,
and get it done.
I mean, he's also another one that needs to stay healthy.
That is some truth too.
He's
But when you're the only one
he's
running around, that's what hurts.
it's kind of hard to run around when you're on the sideline with 4 concussions. Like who's to say who? Like I am being serious. I am not. Concussions are a serious thing, and he's already done had so many, and he's already done had multiple ones last year. And it's the same situation with Tua. You had multiple ones. You know, I'm all about players playing, but I'm also very concerned about their safety as well. And I want these players to, when they get through playing football, they can go home to their families and remember everyone and stuff. So, like, if he can find a way to protect him, you know, yeah, I know you can't prevent concussions, but if you could find a way, and I don't know how, I'm not no expert, but if you can find a way to, better protect himself, I would definitely have him higher. But them,
Well,
because
last year,
them,
yes, he
cause
struck. That
them,
was
they,
last year.
them concussions really concern me, man. Because he might get popped one good time, and that might be his career. That's
All right.
that's that's all I'm worried about. Other than that, I love the player.
Yeah. So he had one bad season where he got hurt a lot. He had 8 games he only played in. But let's take a step back now before we go jump into the conclusion. Justin Jefferson only played 10 games the year before. And even though he finished really low, we didn't rule him out as a tier 1 because we knew he'd bounce back. I'm giving him a chance to bounce back this year. Justin Jefferson had injuries too.
I
So
mean,
it
it's like
just, it was an off season. I believe we're going to see a difference.
even without the injuries, I'm just not a big fan of this quarterback room.
Well, I'm not. Yeah. Well, there's what is the quarterback room?
I was hoping you was gonna tell us.
There ain't much to talk about. I mean, the guy they drafted, I'm still kind of like, I get it, but I don't get it. Tyler Sal, I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Spencer Rattler, definitely not. Yeah. So, and then they brought the other guy over, the senior guy. What is his name? Henner or something? I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's just one of the reasons why I have him lower.
okay, but I believe he should
I
be in
will,
four still.
okay, I will let you have it.
Thank you.
He can stay at 4, and then we can run this discussion back when he's not at
Now,
4.
if he goes through another down year like he did last year and injuries just kind of like plague him, I'm not going to be that guy that like wanted to keep a wide receiver at number 1 forever. And it
Mm,
took us 3 years to pull him out. If everybody remember when Michael Thomas came out, he was top ranked wide receiver 3 years straight. And then he got his foot injury and that ended everything. But that was back during a lot different era too of the Saints. But
I was also with Drew Brees.
yeah, that was also Drew Brees, a legend.
Yeah,
So, but he was definitely a wide receiver to match up with a legend. So, yes, if he wouldn't have got that foot injury, I think we'd still be talking about him. Um, It happens. Injuries can end your career. I mean, we see it every day. Football players retire because they can't play no more. We get it. I mean, your body can only take so much, and that's what happens. Now, going into tier 5, I think we're pretty much on the same page still. So just starting off, let's match up the ones we do have. Okay, so I did drop DJ Moore down there, and you got Xavier Worthy. I have Xavier Worthy. Interesting thing. I actually agree with you, so I might do that too. But let me do some rearranging here, and I'll tell you who I have in there and who I'm rearranging.
I kind of want to know because it's very. I'm surprised you're not fussing at me and trying to change my mind right now.
Now, I have Tyreek Hill still in tier 5. You've dropped it down to 6.
Yeah.
Question.
I mean, yeah, there's reasons.
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you on that. So I'll take him down to 6. I'll put DJ Moore up there next to Xavier Worthy. So let's see. We got so you threw in the towel on Brandon Ayuk. You just you sold me on him last year. You got me to buy in on him. I went as far as doing a startup draft and snagged him to find out that nothing would come of it. So I said, I didn't give up on him completely. I still have him on my team. I said, this year is going to be a different year. Yeah, I had him ranked tier 5. You got him ranked tier 6.
I can't predict injuries. Okay. He started off rough because of the holdout, which players should know by now that holdouts never really worked for them. And and then he got hurt too, which did not make it any better. I got him also low too. It's just if he can come back from because this is the year he's gonna come. This is gonna be his injury recovery year, and there's a few instances where you had superhumans come back from a serious injury and then become like just right off the bat good. One example would be Adrian Peterson. One year before, he had ACL, he had a Achilles tear. Really devastating injury, especially for a running back. But then, of course, he's one of those few superhuman freaks who got the surgery, and then the following year come out be a, I think he might have actually been the second in rushing that year or somewhere in that year, but it's going to be a recovery year for him. Those always concern me, even with receivers with their legs and cutting and stuff. So he could prove me wrong and jump up to where you want him, but that's the only reason why I have him there at tier 6.
All right. So, yeah. So basically, at tier 5, we only got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So we could pretty much agree on that. So right now, tier 5, we got Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, George Pickens, Jamison Williams, Jerry Jeudy, and Amuka Abuka. So I guess our big groups are going to come next. And I honestly had Mike Evans up in the tier 5, but kind of looking at it, I kind of see why you would put him in tier 6. A lot of it is this is Dynasty. So at this point in time, Courtland Sutton, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, they're kind of like, yes, they're still top wide receivers and great to go get. I would pick them up late, especially in a startup, because the fact that you wouldn't want these guys right now, I mean, like permanently on your team. So it'd be kind of like they're like 1 year things. So like in a redraft, they'd be a lot higher up to me in a
Oh
redraft.
yeah. Oh,
In a
definitely.
redraft, I'd probably have them in like a tier 3, maybe even a tier 4. I mean,
Oh
well,
yeah.
yeah, both of them probably tier 3 or 4 for a redraft. But as we're talking Dynasty, yeah, I could drop them down a little bit lower than that. I'm good with that. So that moves us into well, see, this is where we're gonna have like different players, I guess. We you and me kind of fall off, so it's harder for me to matching up.
Right.
So trying to see how to do this real quick so I don't get too confused. I thought we had already mentioned Devontae Adams, but you have Devontae Adams in 6. I had
Yeah.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah. You had him at 4. I had him at 6.
I didn't even notice you didn't have him in your 4.
But I'm not because I didn't want to argue with it because I'm okay with putting him at 4.
Okay, okay,
I
okay. See, that's where I missed that on your list. I was sitting
I
here like,
I got him at I got the only reason why I have him at 6 is he's at this point to me he's fallen into the category of with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Tyreek Hill. He to me he's fallen in line with them. You know, if he was any younger, he'd probably up in tiers for me, but since it's dynasty, the age thing, 32. I know he played good last year, even with switching teams, but the age always comes for everybody eventually. You know, Mister drinking green tea, green plant stuff, and Mister Tom Brady. He played 20 something years, but his last year, you saw age was finally getting to him.
right. So let's just look at this real quick. We got Khalil Shakir, Michael Pittman Jr. Wait, hold on. You don't have Michael Pittman Jr. in yours. You have him in 7 for you.
I do.
I'm fine with putting him in 7. At this point, it's a give or take. I'm good with that. So I'm gonna drop him out to kind of even out the list a little bit. Um,
Well, because if it winds up being Anthony Richardson
I
being
don't
the
think it would be.
quarterback, well, I'm just saying right now he's projected as the first one. But anyways, regardless if he starts, the ball's not going towards him. So I mean that's the reason why I put him there.
So let's do this little rearranging here. All right. So let's see what ones I don't have and which ones you have. So we both have Shakir. We both have Matthew Golden. We both agree on Luther Burden the third. Chris Godwin, we both agree on him. Cortland Sutton, we both have him in there.
Hmm.
Mike Evans, I added him there. So I'm in agreement with you. Dunn and I add Mike Evans. Yeah, I added Mike Evans right there. Brandon Ayuk. Where did I have Brandon Ayuk?
I know you had him higher. I just don't remember if it was in 5 or.
I think I took him out of 5 and I was going to add him down here to 6, but I might have actually deleted his name, it looks like.
Oh.
Wow. Showing my care. We're sitting there getting upset about him. I just deleted them all together. Oh, no, there he is. I did move him to 6. Okay.
Okay.
He's right beside Tyreek Hill. I put them 4 at the bottom there. Okay. All right. So I have Juan Jennings, Stephon Diggs, and Rashid Shaheed, Daryl Mooney, Cooper Cup, and Jacoby Myers, and Dabo Samuel Jr. Now I could take Debo and move him down to 7. I can see that. Move Chris Godwin up. You don't think Jacoby's going to do that well this year?
Mm,
Oh, you got him in 7. You got all them in 7.
I got all of them at 7.
See, I got a big list at 7. So it like, let's go through this. All right. So my 6 is the ones I have added to 6 that I think should still stay up there is Jacoby Myers, Cooper Cup, Daryl Mooney, Rashid Shaheed, Juan Jennings, and Stephon Diggs. Okay. Looking at yours, you got 7. You have we pretty much got the same to a point. I have Jaden Reed. You have Jaden Reed. I do not have Ricky. Oh no, I do have Ricky Pearsall listed. I have Josh Downs listed. I have Jaden Higgins listed. I added. Whoopsie. I took my Michael Pittman and I moved him down to 7. I was fine with that.
Hmm.
So I have Michael Pittman now down in 7. Trey Harris, I did not have even listed, but I don't mind adding him to 7. That makes sense. Calvin Ridley, I didn't even have listed. I should have considered him with Cam Ward going there.
I think it's a sneaky thing.
Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I'm gonna add him. Oh no, I did have Calvin Ridley. Shoot, I don't even know that I had it there. I because trying to go between both lists, I'm confused.
Yeah.
All right, so we both did have Calvin Ridley. Okay, so the ones I had already in tier 7 that you didn't have, I had Alec Pierce, Jalen Tolbert, Jalen McMillan. But then see, that's a good point. I might need, even though Ibuka was added to the team, he's still there. So I mean, I just can't just pull him out of there. Xavier Liggett, I have listed. I think he'll do pretty good this year. And Romain Dobbs, I had listed. I think they're fine. Tank Dill, we need to take him out because we already know what's going on with that. So
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and nitpick at it. I'm okay with putting them honestly anywhere really.
I do like you added Trey Harris. I hate that I missed him because he's actually really good.
Like I said, man, I'm excited about this Chargers offense.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to make this list look a little bit better. So before we go on, I think we're good just leaving 6 and 7 like it is. I know I have a few extra that Austin didn't have, but that kind
That's
of gives you guys more of a choice. Really, 6
that's
and 7.
that's fine. That's fine.
It's really pick who you like. So that gives you guys total of 63 wide receivers. So that's a lot in our tier 7. Some of these guys might be a little bit higher than they should be to other people, but to us, these are where these guys need to be. And you can see me and Austin do have a little bit of different taste on some wide receivers, and in some wide receivers, we're pretty much in consensus with. I did get excited that he added Trey Harris because I really feel bad I left him off my list because I talked so much about him coming out of college. I think a lot of these guys we're talking about. So Brian Thomas Jr. was not the one predicted to be the number 1 wide receiver coming out for rookies. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Marvin Harris Jr. He didn't do as well. He didn't click as well in Arizona. Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. came out and did it all. Malik Neighbors was kind of already projected to do that, so we didn't really doubt it. But Brian Thomas finishing ahead of him is kind of interesting because it was the opposite when Brian Thomas Sr. was the wide receiver 2 and Malik Neighbors was wide receiver 1. So you would have never thought Brian Thomas Jr. would take the lead, but he did.
Oh yeah, he did all right.
But it wasn't by much. So we also got to take into consideration he played more games than Malik Neighbors, and it was pretty close, but it was interesting. So that covers our tiering list. And I don't want to forget this time, we're going to do our top 5 rookies for wide receivers. So with that being said, I'm going to close out this list and I'm going to bring up our top 5 rookies. I have it already brought up, but my computer's running slow, guys. Or no, I don't have it already yet. Ooh. Give it a second to do its thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Start messing with stuff and it'll close it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. So let me bring this up. In the wrong folder already. The wide receiver top 5 rookies. I have not even had a chance to glance at your list, Austin. I am so sorry. I've been so busy. So it's been the first time I see it, guys. So let's see how far off we are because I got my top 5 next to your top 5. So the only difference I see really nothing. So other than the order. So You have Travis Hunter coming out 1. I don't. I actually have Travis Hunter coming out behind McMillan. I'm still bigger on McMillan than I am Travis Hunter. Yes, Travis Hunter's a great wide receiver, but so is McMillan. They have the same kind of statistics. So at the end of the day, it's really going to be how they play at their new team and what happens and what unfolds. I know Travis Hunter's wide receiver too, but I think McMillan will probably just do really well. Abuka, yes, I have him as my 3rd wide receiver. And yes, my number 4th wide receiver is the same as Austin. He has my Matthew Golden. I had Matthew Golden. And we both agreed Luther Burden from Missouri was to round off the top 5. So our list didn't differ other than the top 2 order. But as I always say, it's like everybody has their different opinions. And that was my opinion versus his opinion. So it's not really too different.
Nope.
So we're pretty much on the same page when it comes to wide receivers. And I'm excited out of these top 5. I think this is where we need to predict who we think is going to finish the highest out of the group. And now they don't have to finish as we rank them. Unless you just think that your guy you rank number 1 is going to finish number 1 out of the bunch, then you can say that. But I don't think that's the case.
I think McMillan.
You think McMillan? That's who I have picked.
I think McMillan will actually finish number 1.
I believe the same thing. So that was my prediction, and that's Austin's prediction. So we both have McMillan as being the top wide receiver rookie coming out this year, like for scoring. We believe that he'll finish the highest. It's going to be an interesting competition. They're all landed at pretty good spots. They all have a chance to do something and do something quick. So I'm excited to see what happens. Really am. I mean, I cannot wait till the first game is started. I mean, Dallas against, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Ain't Dallas playing the Eagles the first game on Thursday night?
Yeah, that starts off the NFL season. And then you got a Friday night game in Brazil.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do a lot of tush pushing, so we're going to get that done.
Oh yeah, we know. We all know how y'all like playing with the tush.
Well, that's why Philadelphia wins the championships.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You have to do weird stuff.
No, we're not like Dallas.
Yeah, you have to cheat like the Patriots.
Oh, that's no, don't put us in
And
that
the Patriots like playing with balls.
They deflate them. They don't blow them up.
No, they don't.
All right, so let me hit save on this so I don't lose it. Oh, I hope I did it in the right folder.
Oh, don't tell me that.
All right, here we go. So now I got to bring up. So that was fun, guys. If you like the content, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. What do you always say, Austin?
Make sure you share because sharing is caring.
That's right.